So people might think that when things are happening wrong in their life and things become tough, and then they start finding solutions on why they're going down a path of failure and things are and happening to them in worst case scenarios. And when we start looking for an answer, we go to these so-called gurus, and this is like a repetitive pattern that I've noticed on my channel, is that people would come with these claims saying that these gurus are making these claims and they say that you can manifest. I've tried everything. And every time I say that it's not working, then they say that it's your self concept. Obviously, if a lot of them are saying the same things, then they're probably telling you the truth. But when one is on a negative pattern and a negative belief system, and they're not understanding that it is them that's causing everything, this is when doubt starts trickling into their reality. And today I'm going to talk to you on how to overcome these doubts, overcome fears, overcome these limiting beliefs that are controlling our reality. And I'm going to go into more detail on how you can flip a switch in your mind and make a decision that none of that's going to ever happen in your life ever again. If you think, or if anyone thinks that, I don't want to say you directly, right? Because maybe you're killing it in life, right? You're doing good things. But when people start attacking or thinking that, your life, look at all the things that you have, you're doing so well. And then they start mocking successful people or saying that successful people, rich people are all evil. We have some limiting belief of that. When doubt starts trickling into our mind, we are actually being lied to about how our reality works. So we just accept everything as is because it's our logical senses, it's our reasoning mind that gets in the way of our own self. And in reality, no one in reality can change you but you. For example, if I were to tell you, hey, you should stop smoking cigarettes, you should quit. And what's going to happen? You're not going to listen. You're going to keep going. Why? Because only you have the power to do that. No one's suggestion can go on to you unless you allow it to come into your reality, because you have the option to still decide whether you're going to accept something or not and to take something as fact or true or false, right? And it's only till we decide ourselves when, oh, I'm coughing up blood, I'm choking, and I quit 15 years ago. But you get into a situation where you're like, I don't feel good, I think I need to quit. And then eventually you do, or some people never do, right? But you have to make this decision yourself. No one outside of you can make that decision for you. It's with anything, right? But when we start hearing these negative things in our lives, the reason why we're being lied to is because the subconscious mind is the one that is controlling your reality. It will decide for you. It will put words into your own mind. It will make you stay in this place of being in its own safe bubble, because anything outside of that is too much for it. So it wants to keep you safe. So it will conflict with the things that you want. When you're saying that everybody loves me or my SP loves me, but in reality, you don't love yourself, or you want love, but everyone cheats on you. So you have this belief of being so attached that when they see this, you're becoming more needy and you're not opening, allowing to trust that person. So then it pushes them away because you're trying to hold on to something and attaching. And there's nothing wrong with, cuddling and stuff, but then it becomes like a needy situation instead of the knowing of, I'm all that there is. No one is better than me. I am the best person that this person would ever want. I am the number one choice that this person would ever want. In fact, I am the most interesting person that they ever met in their life. And you can repeat this thought in your life. And I've heard in other people's minds say the exact same phrases that I have said in my own mind. So we know that, or I know for a fact that when you transmit thoughts, that they will go out of their own accord to say those words in reality. So when we think about limiting beliefs, we have to understand that everyone is on a different path in life and anyone can get out of those situations. I don't care what situation you are in. Look, when I was very young, at 15, me and my brother lost our mom at a very young age. But out of that, my sister came about, and that was the best thing that ever happened. But even though in that situation, because it was with a different father, me and my brother still had to kind of figure out our own. And none of the families really wanted to take us in. One finally did, but it was only temporary, and I had to figure things out. And I was forced to drop out of school to find a job. And eventually, when I hit 18, I was really on my own. I didn't really have family. So when people complain about their life or saying you're privileged, I had to live on the freaking streets. And I had to grow up quickly and learn reality. And when someone says, "Oh, how can I imagine myself with a new car if I'm riding the bus every day?" Look, I've done that too. I've been on the bus. I don't like it. It takes hours to go one way. It takes hours to go the other way. But we have to make decisions on what we are being wise with the money that we're using. If I were to sit on that bus and start over again, I would see people with all these new Nikes and, they're spending all their money on looking presentable, right? Because they want to feel good, because the material world, you put something on, it makes you feel better. But if I wanted something bad enough, I will sacrifice. I don't care if my pants are falling apart, because I want to get out of that situation. I'm going to manifest it, and I'm going to put all my money in a jar, and somehow it's going to happen. And guess what? I got out of that situation. I slept on someone's couch when I needed it. And out of all the people he's ever met, he's like, "You're the only guy that has ever slept on my couch, that has ever made it, that has started their own business, that has their own retail store, that's literally came out of nothing, that you can get the things that you want. It doesn't matter the circumstance or the situation." When I got one tech job, and it was in the place that I wanted to live, as soon as I packed all my stuff in my vehicle to go to this state, guess what happened? I was actually let go of the job after working for them remotely for so long. And I was like, you know what? Since I work for this company and it's a state that I want to be in, why don't I just go live there? And in fact, right when I started packing things up, it all just started falling apart. And you know what I said? I don't care what you put in front of me. I don't care what circumstances you put in front of me, because I know what game this is. It's like playing a game, but this game is life, right? If you were playing a video game and you fell and you died in this game, you get back up, right? You don't cry and you play it again, right? You play over and over until you actually win. It's the same thing as if we were young, right? When we learned to ride a bicycle, you fall, right? And you hurt yourself really bad and cry, right? And a lot of us did. But do you just quit and give up, or do you get back on that bicycle and try it again, right? It's the same thing as life. We have to keep getting back on and trying again. Because a method or a manifestation technique doesn't work, doesn't mean it doesn't work forever. It just means that it didn't work that time, that you didn't put enough effort. You didn't put enough intention into it. You didn't put enough thought into it. You didn't put the affirmation and to repeat this over and over in your mind to get the subconscious to express that into your reality. We have to impress that, because right now it's in a state of putting the opposite into your reality. When we're unconsciously aware of our manifestations and we are allowing our subconscious to take over, it's like, for example, the dog whisperer, right? And a lot of these people that have these dogs aren't trained. They have 3 or 4 dogs or a dog walking them. And what happens is that you put stress on the dog as the pack leader when you're supposed to be the pack leader. So when your dog is barking at the door when you're leaving, it's because it's saying, "Hey, I'm the pack leader. You're not supposed to be leaving. I tell you when you're supposed to be leaving." Right? So it's the same thing with our subconscious mind. When we let go of the control and we allow it to do its job, you put so much stress on the subconscious that it decided it rather keep you protected than for you to go out into reality. So whatever it wants you to have, this is what it's going to give you. Whether it's good, bad, we don't know. It's because you allowed it to go on autopilot, right? And that's what I would call the zombie state, or we're just kind of going through reality, letting things happen to us instead of for us. And it's when we decide in our own selves that we had enough. Because I've been in every situation. I've grown up around gangs. I've grown up because all my cousins were in that, but I didn't decide to do that. There was drugs everywhere, and in fact, even today, because I do music and I travel and I meet a lot of people, that there's people that just live upon mother's money, or they're a drug dealer and they're thinking that they're better. I've actually worked my way up the right way, and I don't need to go do some difficult way of trying to make it. I'm not knocking anyone's hustle, but I'm a person that does stuff from a real way, work for it, right? In fact, I decided one day that I wanted to be a software engineer, and guess what happened? I coded every single day. I went online and figured it out. There are points in my time where I literally cried and almost threw the computer across the room. It is so hard, and I can understand. But if we think about life, right, it's like the Atomic Habits I have here. Definitely a great thing to look up. But when you're putting a little bit of habits every day, your linear curve of where you think life and where it should shoot up, right? We're putting in all this stuff, but our life is still going this way, and it should be coming into an exponential curve where everything should just be going up, right? But when we're putting effort 1% every single day, eventually this curve will shoot up, and then you're going at an exponential rate of life. So just because we don't see something now, it's what we do every day to make it that way. So when I say that our manifestation didn't work, we have to keep on persisting into our reality that we want. The subconscious will play these tricks, and you need to persist. When it was throwing all these roadblocks, and you know what? I don't care if you fired me at my job. You know what? I still went anyways. It led me to a friend figured something out, and I had someone else come down with me because he said he knew someone in the state. And then we met him. He's like, yeah, go ahead, sleep on the couch. And it only lasted for a little bit. And then I somehow was able to figure it all out. I got back into a passion of mine, making jewelry, and then got into crystals. And then I've heard of a lady that manifested her own retail store with barely any. She was just an employee at that time, and somehow she manifested her own retail store. And because I heard that, it was a confirmation. I was like, you know what? I actually want a store too. So I envisioned myself and imagined myself having this store. But when I imagined it, it took about 6 months for it to manifest. But I didn't think about the time. Every day when I woke up, I lived in the end as knowing that it is already here now. I imagine myself, and then when I see reality, I'm just waiting for the moment. That is it. I'm not doubting, I'm not wavering, I'm not questioning reality, because I've put it already into my mind. And because when you know something is fact and you know something happens in reality, when you know it actually works and you know it happened in someone else's reality, like when I was explaining to you about riding a bike, you see others riding bikes, right? So that's why you get up and try it again, because you already seen the truth, the facts of life, and it's right in front of you with your 5 senses. Because we see that it's real, then we get up and try again because another person has tried before. And this has happened in many cases of reality where something happens or someone breaks a record that has never happened, and then it makes it possible for other people to do. But in reality, it all comes really down to is ourself. And it's up to us to decide when enough is enough. And when we decide that everything is ours, this is when life can become beautiful. I don't just do manifestation when I feel like it. I treat this as a lifestyle. It is part of me. You have to make it part of you. If you want to say, "Oh, I don't want to change myself because none of this works." Look, it's a lifestyle. The more you commit to doing everything in your life, there is no other choice but for reality to catch up to your new being. When you become someone new, you create new pathways. When you change your beliefs in your mind, you're creating new neural pathways in your own mind, and it makes you make different choices in your life. When you make different choices, it leads you down different paths, right? It's like that movie, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Definitely, if you haven't checked it out, I think after about an hour and a half, 2 hours, I had enough. It's a really long one. But it's all about the quantum field and making choices. And then if we make this choice, our altered self of us goes another path. So when we become a better version of us and a more aware person, when an opportunity comes in front of us, our better version self is going to pick the better choice and go down a better path. But when someone is not aware of their reality, it is like, so really, everything in life that we want, everything is possible when we believe things are possible. And I know it sounds cliche to even say that, because we have to believe within our depths of our own selves that what we have to make that change within us in order for external reality to change. When we go into the mirror every morning, how do you see yourself? What do you say to yourself? Do you say something out loud? Do you think something about yourself? We need to start learning how to speak better to ourselves. It's it's our inner talk. When we learn to control this, our thoughts, and controlling our inner talk, that is what's going to get us to where we need to be. As soon as we hear a limiting belief or a negative thought, the trick is to immediately change that thought as soon as it comes in to a positive thought or to a thought that you want in life, an affirmation. So every time we hear that, we change that. But it's also the same thing as if we're thinking of a method or a manifestation. As soon as we get out, we do not think about a negative thought, because then we just null and void the entire manifestation, because we come out with that self-talk, that negative self-talk. So that's why when people say there's no one to change but self, is that you're going to have to figure that out. Everyone's path is different. So really, the main focus here is to persist in our own mind, to persist into whatever it is that we want. I don't care what it is. There is nothing impossible to do. There is no excuses. I've been there and done it, and I've been in the hardest parts of life. There is nothing that you can't have or want. I have yet to talk about, if you're into modular and the thing that you see behind me, I don't even want to talk about money when it comes to something like that. I can sell that and go get a brand new car with that. But I don't talk about money in that way, because you have to believe that it comes to you easily and effortlessly. Before, everything would just be taken away from me. I would barely be able to hold on to a backpack full of stuff. And I have more stuff than I ever really need. And I don't think I need any more. And I'm happy with things that I have. But everyone has their own goals and what they want to achieve in life. And everything that you want to achieve, you can. But it all starts here. So when you start believing in this and believing in your own mind, everything in your world will externalize. It doesn't matter what it is. Anything can come out of the blue. And expect the unexpected. Because you get what you believe to be, You get what you want in your mind, and there's no such thing as deserving of it. It is yours. There's no what you believe is what you get. What you think and believe in the mind and believe the mind, then that is what you get. Well, I hope you had a good one. I really appreciate you guys wherever you're at in the world. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so. And do like, this does help get out to other people that need it. Until then, check out this video here to level up your manifestation.